and I like to make movies, make my own things. I like to do a lot of music video content and really all kinds of stuff. I just completed my first documentary recently that I traveled all the way up to New York for, and that was a lot of fun. And yeah, I've done a couple of things with Joe, and we're going to show one of those things today. And thanks for having me, Joe.
So, it'll be bad if I didn't at least promote how we can see your stuff. But maybe we can do that later on. But this is the internet. I do have ways. So if everyone gets a chance, since I'm here and I'm sharing screens, everyone should at least go to Piano's Vimeo. You can check out a whole lot of stuff. Is that okay, Piano? Is that cool?
Yeah.
If we do that?
Thanks. Yeah.
Are they? is that allowed?
Yeah, that's totally allowed. Thank you.
So yeah, so the documentary she's talking about, Woman from Mars. I think probably the best bet is for people to go to Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah, it's on Amazon now, which is crazy.
So go over there, check it out. But also you can check out a lot of her other awesome, amazing films. I think every single one of them is super entertaining. I mean, we'll bring this webpage up again, but check out her work as much as you can and as many times as you can, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to rock and roll with this thing. So today, Piano, we're going to be watching Brick. So yeah, you're right. We've worked on a whole lot of stuff. We worked on films together, but I feel like this one is really it's interesting because it has a sort of like a unique. Do you think is it a unique story? Because I've never actually worked with you like in a writer's sense, but this is what would you say the genesis of Break is?
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, it has a super unique story because it formed from like a real life event, I guess you could call it. I think it was an not Snapchat, but like an Instagram story that I did, where I was like in a bowling alley bathroom, and I like had washed my hands and pulled down, or should I not spoil it? Would I spoil it if I?
Well, here's the thing. Here's one thing. I mean, we're going to spoil it. But here's the thing. What we are going to do is I'm going to warn people ahead of time. Yeah, we are doing a watch along, and we're going to be watching these things. But there's going to be moments in which we can particularly stop the film and stuff like that. But yeah, I would say it started from an Instagram story.
Yeah. Basically, I did an Instagram story, and I did a thing in a bathroom, and it was like really dorky. But Joe thought it was really funny, and so he hit me up, and I think like jokingly we were like, we should like make this into like a thing, and I was like, hell yeah, that'd be so funny. So we did, and we like sat down and we like actually made it like into a thing, and we wrote it all together, and I think it came out great. I think it's really funny. It has like a very unique sense of humor, and I'm all about it. I love it. I think everybody involved did a really great job on it.
So you thought it was dorky? Because when I saw it, I was like, man, that chick is badass.
I appreciate that. I mean, I too think it's very badass, but I think that the general public thinks it's very dorky.
So how about this? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a watch long. So we're gonna watch the film, and then we might talk during it, and then after the first screening, we'll stop and talk, and then we'll watch it again in a pop and lock version where we can stop and make notes and stuff like that. How about we do that? Are you ready for that? Should we just go right into it?
Let's just go right into it.
All right, cool. Let me show the world my screen real quick. Sorry, I didn't mean to make that sound. Okay, we are back. Can you see my screen? Is it scary?
I see your screen, yeah. It's not very scary. It's just a lot of
It's all
folders.
white blocks, stuff like that. Ah, hold on. I have so many things happening here on my side of the world. I'm like, what? Like, everything stopped popping up at once. Okay, here we go. I want to make sure I can see you. There we go. Okay, now we can do this thing. Hopefully now we can do this thing. All right, we're back.
Perfect.
Let's play this thing. You ready, piano? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm not ready. I'm scared. All right, let's do this. Did I not turn on the audio again?
I can see my lag. I love how laggy this is.
Wait, I botched it because I wanted to. I botched it. Hold on. I need to get the right view of this.
It's okay. It's what this experience is all about.
That's exactly what this experience is all about. I'm going to tell a story while I'm trying to find the right file because I was about to play the file that had no audio on it. So we can't do that. There we go. I found it. Thank you, world. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. As you can tell, I do this every single day. What it feels like I'm almost doing this every single day. Now we're ready to go. Let's do this. Bam. Sound. Go. I've done it.
Nice.
I would say I'm a massive fan of this score that you did, piano.
Thank you.
I literally was like rocking out to this like in my car while driving back and forth to set.
It is groovy.
So let's talk about your wardrobe here, piano. We can do this in real time. What did you envision for this?
It's so intimidating.
Was it Jesse was intimidating for you?
It's terrifying.
And did you already know that she's like a trained fighter too?
I did not.
Move.
This next shot is still one of my favorite shots. And it's when you come to realize it's basically just a dolly in on a person sitting on the toilet, it still makes it amazing. I thought you did pretty awesome like toilet drama, toilet paper what's it called? A toilet paper drama here.
Thanks. I've had a lot of practice.
That part wasn't even in the script for you to pull it out. That was all you, right?
Wash your hands, Anne.
I know this is a weird question to ask, piano. But
Use soap.
since I can't really see your eyes really like right now since your screen is small, what color is your eyes? Or what color are your eyes?
So They're blue,
Okay.
but they actually have this like weird split down the middle where they like turn kind of green in like the middle of the eye on both ends.
So I was gonna say they
You
look
need
like
to wash your hands.
it's just like the
for
color
at
process
least
just like really
30
enhanced
seconds
the
to get
blue in
rid
your
of
eyes on this.
all the germs.
They're blue. Piano blue.
Why are you so
The
tired?
color my hair should be right now. Rip.
I think you need to cut your hair. It looks a little, you know. If you just smiled, maybe guys would talk to you. Honey, don't you think it's time for you to move out of the house? Don't you think it's about time you start thinking about your future? I thought you'd be married to what's his name? You know, you only got so many years before you pop out a baby. Well, you want that job, don't you? I don't think I'm asking too much. Oh, you haven't been to Europe? Oh, you didn't even finish school? Smile. Stand up straight. What's wrong with your face? You'll never make it if you keep eating
What's
those
wrong
fries.
with your
Show your
face?
teeth, baby. I liked you better when you were homeless.
You should try yoga.
What you really need to do is
Get fit.
why don't you want to smile?
You need more life.
Not sexy enough.
Not cute enough.
Not special enough.
Too creative.
Too boring.
With teeth. Are you listening? Did you even try? That's why you're alone.
Smile! Don't tell me how to live my fucking life.
Oh, good times. Good times, piano. I also like to put myself over a little bit because I'm gonna say I really like the font choice I made for these credits.
I like it too.
I'm a really big stickler for that.
Dude, fonts are important.
Oh yeah. That to me that's like make or break the seriousness of a film. I had to give Jessie a name. She didn't really have the name Vixen in the script. All right, I'm gonna stop it right here. I'm gonna cue it up for the rewind, and we'll just talk about it for a little bit. So, piano. Let me ask. So I've never asked this question before, but like, did you already do some screen acting like before? I mean, before getting into filmmaking or anything like that, have you done like acting before?
Huh. Kind of.
Oh yeah, Susan Elizabeth says, "Hell yeah, piano, that was awesome."
Oh, awesome. That's so nice. Kind of. Like, I guess being in music world, you a lot of times have to make your own music videos. So, I mean, like, you know that. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of times you have to, like, kind of put yourself in front of the camera and be like, okay, well, I made this song and now I need to make a video for it, and I'm the only person that will do it. You know what I mean? So I've done a lot of that, especially growing up. Like I had a solo project when I was really young, so I did a lot of that stuff.
Wait, how really young?
Really young. Oh gosh.
Like your 10?
My earliest solo project, like early, like so early, like so early in the internet, like MySpace days internet.
That's how you know it's early.
Like
That's how you know the MySpace era is early.
yeah, like 8 or 9. um, but yeah, I did a lot of that. But my parents put me in like a acting comedy, um, like a comedy stand-up club thing, and I did that for a little while. It was actually in Virginia. Gosh, it was called like the comedy. I'm totally gonna butcher the name. I don't remember. It's like something about like a spot or a red dot. I can't remember what it's called, but it was like the comedy spot or something like that. And so I did that for a little while.
Not the comedy red dot.
Yeah, definitely not the comedy red dot. But I did that for a little while, and then I tried doing like theater in school, but I wasn't very good at it. But that's not like on-screen camera stuff. So yeah, this was like the first time in like, I think the first time like ever really that I had done something for somebody else, like that wasn't like, you know, my own thing that I kind of had to like force myself to act in because I couldn't get anyone in the right mind to be in my like movie. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, do this big for me, and everybody would be like, no.
I remember like in my early films, that's why I was in like a lot of my early films too, because I'm like, well, we need people. I'm like, well, I'm here, but
Yeah, right. And it's so hard to film yourself too. Like it's so difficult to like set up the tripod, and then especially if you don't have like autofocus. Like I don't have any of that stuff. Like everything I have is manual, so like you gotta like set up the tripod and then like guess and then go to like where you gotta be and then like do your thing and then go back and be like shit, I was totally out of focus. Like yeah.
I mean, because that's one of the things I noticed, like working with you in this regard, because we've done music videos before, but this is the first time like we actually had like lines that we would say. And I thought it was really interesting because I felt like, you know, sometimes I guess when you're assuming you're working with like, I guess people you haven't worked with before, you're never quite too sure like how like the director to actor like rapport or back and forth is going to be. And I'd like to say, like, I thought it was pretty easy working with you. Like you seemed really comfortable in front of the camera, and that's what made it really exciting. I'm like, okay, cool. Now we can really like dive deep into this character.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I've been in front of the camera a lot just because of music, I guess. So it's not so awkward, I guess.
Yeah, I always find it weird when some people, like, I don't know if you've dealt with this with photography or doing any other film production where you run into people and then or you work with certain people or you ask people to be in front of the camera and they're always just like, no, the camera hates me, I'm ugly. And you know for a fact they're not.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally know what you mean. The camera hates me. It's like, no, you're so not ugly. You're so beautiful.
Yeah. Whoever told you that is a liar, and you just like hate the world because of what they've done to certain people.
Yeah.
So to begin with this with Brick, so we actually do. I have it. The original inspiration for this film is on file here.
No way.
Of course I do.
No freaking way.
Of course I do, man.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
I searched long and hard for that.
Oh my gosh, no way.
So
I'm hyped.
yeah, so for people who are paying attention at home, so Brick started from Instagram story that she posted. I don't exactly know when or what month it is, but I remember I watched it and I saw it and I was like, we need to make that into a movie. And it's so short too. And you can tell it's 6 seconds long. It's 6 seconds long of pure, like unadulterated, pure power of piano. I'm going to play it because it's awesome.
Don't tell me how to fucking live my life.
Yes. I'm going to play it again because it's only 6 seconds long. But I was such a fan of this.
Don't tell me how to fucking live my life.
So if you pay attention to certain details, we tried to get the details of this down. We really went out of our way to get to design our own sign or signage look like that.
Mm-hmm.
Got the whole hands looking like that. You'll see it when we replay the movie.
Yeah, that was really important that the thumb.
It had to have that hand. That's like the main part of the story is that.
Yeah.
But like for me, I was sold on this
Don't
line.
tell me how to fucking live my life.
just like
Don't tell me how to fucking live my life.
I just loved, like, legit to me when I saw that, I felt that anger that you had.
There was so much anger in a bowling alley bathroom.
Yeah, I was like, damn, dude, like she's right.
Yeah, don't tell me how to fucking live my life.
But so like when I saw that, I sort of envisioned like this whole entire world of like, you know, not like assuming like what's happening in your world, but it's like, imagine what this character had to go through where the only outlet really is to pull that paper towel.
That's her satisfaction.
Yeah.
It's the little things. It's the little things in life.
It's just amazing little things. And it was awesome. And also like I even forget what shirt you're wearing, but it's like I looked at the shirt and I was like, it's like, man, this chick's like like she literally looked like she wanted to fight herself.
Yeah, the shirt that I'm wearing in that in the story, in the Instagram story, it says like girl power or something.
That's awesome. So like, yeah, I don't know, just that's how an inspiration hits.
Don't tell me how to fucking live my life.
Yeah, like you freaking spit that hard. You spit hard bars on that, dude.
In bars, yeah.
Yeah, so from that, I literally, sent Piano a message saying that's awesome. We need to can you send me that video? I think there was a time where I was like looking at your stories almost as like, because you know you're already a storyteller in your own right, and you're already telling these awesome stories
on Instagram story. Yeah. I post a lot.
And I don't know, I was like, man, because it's weird, like say like the last film festival we showed this at, like I was up there doing like the Q&A, and it was unique because everyone's telling their inspiration for like their stories. They're like, yeah, so when my father went to war, or like yeah, like these really 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 deep stories, right? And I think it was jarring for them to be like, yeah, so I saw Piano's Instagram story of her just pulling the paper towel.
So moving.
Yeah. But I think that shows how awesome, like, I guess we are as storytellers, really, is we can take a pulling of a paper towel and making it this grand, like, conflict that's happening in the women's restroom.
Yeah. This girl's entire life, and how, like, society has completely pressured her into so many standards.
Yeah. All right, so let's watch it again, and we're gonna do the pop and lock style. Let me try to cue it up properly here this time. Oh, I keep on closing windows. Here we go. This time we're gonna do a real good breakdown of it this time. I gotcha. I got you.
Break.
I'm gonna ask you some serious questions this time, Piano. All right, here we are. Are you ready? Let's do it.
I'm ready.
So every time I always try to match the ASTRAY logo to the tone of the film. Not really a surprise for anybody. All right, I'm gonna pause it here. Okay, so Piano, let's talk about your outfit.
Oh, dude, I was gonna talk about the lighting. All
right, we could talk about the things we like. All right, you have a question?
I'll talk about my outfit.
All right, let's talk about your outfit. All right. Okay. So you had several outfits chosen out of this that we had lined up Do you have any
Yeah.
sort of like has this outfit been used before, or where did you like? Was there inspiration for the choices of outfits that you had coming into this movie?
So I feel like I resonate a lot with Anne herself. And so I don't know, she's a very awkward gal, and I just had a lot of those really strange, like plain basic, but kind of have a little pizzazz outfits in my closet. And so I just sent you all a ton of those. Like I had a lot of those, and so we went with this one. But yeah, so the pants, the plaid pants, I like wore those at that time in my life, like almost every day. Like I wore those pants all the time.
Oh, so these are like your normal like day-to-day pants.
Yeah. And then that belt, I still wear that belt like almost every day. And then the shirt, I think I had bought that shirt for some like event I had to go to because I didn't own like what's that called? Like a polo shirt?
Yeah, polo shirt.
Yeah, so that shirt's not usually used in my closet, but
It's unique because like I felt like, you know, when I see this, I mean, nothing. The shirt really puts it over as like, okay, I think she works retail.
right. That's what I was going for. That's perfect because like I was thinking like I want it to look like she's like really sick of her job, you know? So like I felt like the Polaroid shirt, not Polaroid, the polo shirt was like really good, a good touch. Like it's a work shirt, you know?
Yeah.
Like I had to buy that shirt for some sort of like stupid event where like everybody had to wear polo shirts and khakis.
If you think about it though, like so this is how I looked at it. Change the color scheme a little bit. That's exactly what all the people like at Target have to wear.
Right? Right? So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's well. The lighting is so good. You guys killed that.
Awesome. We I was watching I forget what it was. Oh, I was watching Neon Demon. And have you seen Neon Demon?
Right. Yeah, you were sending me so much stuff about that when
And I
in
just
the like the mood boards and stuff.
Yeah, and I just thought because that movie is so like I guess sort of neon dark and like really like dark. I was like, we need to like just like juxtapose what's happening and just throw in some color because you know I sort of wanted this to be like in a I guess like an off world.
Yeah, you guys took out all the lights in the ceiling and stuff.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about. So let me tell you. I can tell you a story about Jessie. So Jessie was actually, she actually felt really bad about how she treated you. Did she?
What? No, she was so nice. She was so nice to me.
Oh, you know, but like just like going into like the character, she's like, oh, I feel.
Oh, the character.
Yeah, like.
Dude, it was literally like a flashback to my entire high school experience. Oh man, that whole experience was like, whoa. Like she killed it. She did like such a good job.
And it's unique because like that's not like how she is either. I was like,
No, she's so nice.
she is so nice, and I guess that's a testament to like her, you know, gung ho attitude, just wanting to like be a bully, but because it's just like she just says that one line, right? And that's all it needs to do. But I like the juxtaposition between her outfit and your outfit. That's what's killer. Is just like it's like you have the retail outfit. She has like the on the prowl outfit. So it sort of made me feel like this is how it made me feel like when I saw this, I was like, okay, so Piano's character is still like at the like I guess at the mall, like and like is in like just got done working, and then Vixen, Jesse's character, is just about to go out, or you know, so
Yeah.
two different lives are colliding here, but they sort of know each other. Look at that look though. That's
I know. And we did so many takes like of that look. And like every time I was like thinking to myself, I was like, do I look, because like it's just me, like you don't see my face. So I was like, do I look at her? Like, do I look at her or do I not? And so I didn't know what to do, so I was like, I'm just gonna look at her. And so I was just like staring at her.
Yeah, so I couldn't really, since we're on all we see is the back of your head. Yeah, so are you just giving her like the glare, like right?
Yeah,
back?
I'm just like staring at her.
Like she just sort of like towers over you at this part
She's
too.
so tall in those heels. Oh my gosh. I think I was also wearing a little bit of a heel too.
So, both of you are like wearing your power shoes, but like but still her character just
Move. I love it's such a little thing. It's such a little thing, but I love when she opened the door that there was like wind
yeah.
through the door.
So both you guys, I think I'm such a fan of just the way both you guys are performed in that. Because literally, if that scene didn't work, you would have no weight. Your character would have no weight for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
So just the fact that she had like one word can cut you down.
So much power.
Yeah. And geez, society is so tough. So yeah, we're talking about this is your idea with the toilet paper. I think you pitched that to me. You're like, can I pull this? I'm like, yeah, let's see what happens.
Just trust me, guys.
But what's really cool though is that like with that little pull, that shows that little bit of that anger. You're like, I wish I could do this to your neck.
And then I wiped.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you guys I was gonna do that.
We were in the back. We're like, is she gonna wipe? Oh.
I wish there was a way for everybody to see my perspective of this, because I'm just like sitting there and there's like three people like just like standing there just like watching me.
Yeah, because we have like the light hovering above you too, and then, like all of us are, we didn't move like any of the actual set. This is actually, we shot this in Cinema Arts over in Fairfax, Virginia. So this is like a real bathroom. So we're all just really cuddled, like not cuddled.
Crammed.
Yeah, and we're just like looking at piano.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Movie making, it's amazing. I like this moment because like you have that tough moment on the stall, but then when you peek out, you're like, okay, just in case. So this one section, I had like a really good time. I had a blast the whole time, but this was really cool because, so the video village is outside the monitor. We're outside the bathroom.
Wash your hands.
And there's moments literally where I'm just like shouting lines to you. Like there are lines that I'm reading and I'm just like, okay, say this. And then you just say that.
Remember there was a movie playing. Oh my gosh. Was it A Star Is Born?
It was either Star Is Born or Bohemian Rhapsody was playing. I remember it was Bohemian was playing because Jesse was like, oh, I'm going to go hide in here real quick to watch a little bit of the movie.
It was some musical film or something that was playing, and I loved that because I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. But yeah, there was like a movie playing, and then like at some point while we were filming, like the movie stopped and everybody came out.
Oh yeah.
And like everybody, because like Video Village was outside of the bathroom, and like when people come out, they want to use the bathroom, but nobody could come in because we had like shut down that area.
Yeah. But
you guys were outside with all your equipment, and so like people came out and they were like to you guys like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? What is this? So you guys were like, oh, we're just like filming, and they're like, oh, filming? Like filming a movie? And like, yeah, like a movie. Like everybody was so like intrigued, like, oh my gosh. I think like people were like taking pictures.
And for some reason also they couldn't quite comprehend for a moment why they couldn't still use the restroom while we were filming too.
That's right. There were like a few ladies that were like, I just need to go to the, we're like, no, like there's like a set, like he can't use the bathrooms.
And we're literally like in front of the doorway. Like there's no way of getting in.
Yeah, like there's sandbags everywhere, lady. You can't use the toilet.
But I love the idea that people still have the passion to use the restroom no matter if they see people blocking the doorway. They just didn't want to use the male restroom, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this was really cool too, because like
Use soap, Anne.
I feel like each scene or each cut we're about to happen is like a new voice that we conjured for piano, or piano brings us a new character.
That was less than 30 seconds.
So this is
You should know.
this is like the
You need
almost
to
like
wash
the,
your hands
the
for at
empty
least
soul that
30
controls
seconds to get rid of all the germs. Why are you so tired looking? I think you need to cut your hair.
Your eyes are sort of pretty vicious there. There's like a little bit like there's a it's like you're really looking down on
Looks
yourself.
a little, you know. If you just smiled, maybe guys would talk to you. Honey, don't you think it's time for you to move out of the house? Don't you think it's about time you start thinking about your future? I thought you'd be married to what's his name? You know, you only got so many years before you pop out a baby. Well, you want that job, don't you? I don't think I'm asking too much.
So what'd you think about the characters you're here? Did you have any favorites that you were trying to conjure from?
I think my favorite was like the part when we had delivered I did like the asking too much line, because we did that one a lot, and it was like, okay, how many of these can we do where I like really act like a total douche? But,
Yeah.
but I really like the part where we just like improvised, and we just like it was like, okay, now let's just like spit a bunch of them, and like it was like off the script.
Yeah.
And I think there were a couple that were just like really like, what?
Well,
You
there
still
was
have some of them.
there was one where you say the yoga line. I don't even want.
Oh, you haven't been to Europe? Oh, you didn't even finish school? Smile. Stand up straight.
What's wrong with your face?
I saw like what's wrong with your face.
You'll never make it if you keep eating those fries. Show your teeth, baby. I liked you better when you were homeless.
So the homeless line was unique. It's awesome, but because I think that was yours, right? Was that yours?
Yeah, that was like an improvised one, and it was just like a random thing, and it got kept, and I was like, okay. I mean,
Is there a story behind that, or it's like I liked you better when you were homeless? I was like, man, damn. That's like real street cred. It's like if you're
yeah,
homeless.
she's got some serious cred.
You should try yoga.
Oh yeah, the yoga. You should try yoga.
God, that one resonates with me.
Why don't you want to smile? You need more light. Not sexy enough. Not cute enough. Not special enough. Too creative.
The not special enough, that resonates with me.
Too boring.
With teeth. Are you listening? Did you even try? That's why you're alone.
Smile!
I just like this face, piano. I just like this pace.
We did a lot of the screams.
Oh yeah.
That was the toughest part for me. Was
The screaming?
Yeah, because I don't know, it was like, for me, I mean, I don't have like a lot of acting experience, and so I feel like that was the hardest part for me personally, because it's like, how do you scream in front of a bunch of people with no reason? Like, how do you scream without an instrument in your hand?
Yeah, that's a good point, because like it's like now it's a scream is very vulnerable too. It's like there's that level of vulnerability.
Like, I can do it behind like a piano, you know, but like, I don't know, it was like, it was so weird. It was very strange. I didn't feel like uncomfortable. It was just strange. It was just a strange like.
Did you practice screaming like at at home to see how to?
I actually did. I screamed in the car a little bit, and I did well in the car, and I think it was just because there was like nobody there, and then like cameras are rolling, it's quiet, and like everybody's there, and it's like, all right, it's time to do it. And it was like, oh gosh, my voice keeps cracking. I don't know what to do.
It is unique, just sort of like, because almost to get to that ultimate frustrated breakdown scream, you have to go into like, I guess, red zone. Really, just you have to like just let it explode.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for actors and like and actresses. It's like how do you just make that switch?
I guess, do you think it's the same as how like some people who perform on stage, they can just like make that switch too? Like some
I
people,
guess so, yeah.
some people need the stage, other people need, I don't know, just the performance. I on a visual note, I'm pretty amazed at how much volume your hair got like at the end of, the end of this.
Me too. I look like a totally different person.
Yeah.
Every time I change my hair, I look like a totally different person.
I'm really a big fan of that too, because I like looking back and be like, oh yeah, this was this era. This is this time. Look at the volume of that hair.
I know.
That's
it's
like
a Vogue magazine.
Yeah, that was like some like supermodel like volume happening here.
I know. It's crazy.
Just love that.
That sign.
So crucial. Yeah, so Carolyn Belevsky, she did our signage of that. Did the research, got down into it.
The stare.
Look at that. So how hard did you look at that, or did you try to relive a moment to get into this space?
I just like I relived that moment.
Don't tell me how to live my fucking life.
It's cool because we actually did different variations on how you said that too. We're like, maybe we emphasize like life or fucking, I don't know how.
Yeah.
I like this film. I'm not saying that I don't like film. It's always weird when I say I like my own films. I don't know why.
No, I totally know what you mean.
It's like, well, of course, don't you like your own films? But I personally like the idea of the process of making this from beginning to end, because it literally was like. Also, let's break down music wise too. So did you have any inspiration for the score? Because like, I don't know, I'm really, like score wise, I don't know, it fits sort of perfect, but also like, I don't know, tell me the process and once you saw the movie and you're like, okay, this is how we should lay down the score. This is the ideas.
Yeah, so in terms of inspiration, I actually didn't have any inspiration. I just kind of dove right into it. And I just kept watching it over and over again. And I sectioned it into pieces. And I had two different intros. I think I actually sent you the first intro, and I just had you kind of pick between intros. Yeah, I just sectioned it off into sections, and then sometimes when I would put it back together, it wouldn't really work, so I had to just redo stuff. And I don't remember how long it took me. Not very long, I don't think, but I did it all with just my keyboard.
That's the thing is like this, for me personally, like, I'm not, even though I do play music, I'm not like music theory or note or anything great. I'm just instinctual. Like this tone right here, these sort of like doom 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 doom. That's so amazing to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so the thing that I guess like I didn't even have inspiration, but I guess the inspiration was like Anne's emotions. So like that's what the score was entirely off of her emotion, and a lot was camera movement, so strings would only swell like with camera movement and stuff like that.
So for your let's see, do you have like usual like go-to, I guess, like instruments, or just mainly just all on the keyboard, and you have ideas of like, okay, I want this type of tone? Like, I don't know what your usual instrument sound process for scoring would be. Like that type of water sound, like the doon doon doon, like, is what was that? Like, literally, is that just
that sound was just I believe it was a Rhodes keyboard, but modified to sound more like a bell.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't really have a process. I just kind of just really dive into it, which is super unorganized, but that's just kind of how I am. But yeah, I just use Pro Tools and just my keyboard. I have an old keyboard. I have a Roland Phantom X7, and I just dive in, just plug right in and go. And yeah, I take it again. I just section off into pieces and then put it all together. And I guess I try to not really change the key very often until there's like a reason to change the key. So I usually just keep it in one key, and then as soon as there's like conflict, I'll kind of change it down a little bit. I do a lot of bends and stuff like that. Like I'll modulate the sound a lot to just not make you feel kind of stuck. Like I don't know if this makes any sense, but there's a lot of times when I'll watch a film and you like can't help but like not notice this like strings, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you watch something and you're like, oh, these strings are like totally canned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I do a lot of modulation so that you don't feel like the strings are canned. But
like my only experience recently with doing any type of scoring is so for one of my films, Just Desserts, Dewey Tron came in and he had his whole like synthesizer setup, right? And he was like, let me plug in all your pedals, which are, if you look, they're all still down there.
yeah, all your guitar pedals?
Scroll down. That looks weird. But literally it was unique because it became like scoring the film, because there were so many pieces. It became like a 2-person process, because there's like, since everything was laid out on a table, he had to do like one pedal and his synthesizer, and he'd be like, Joe, I need you to turn this at this.
These knobs.
Yeah. And it was cool. It became like, this, I don't know, this animal of sound that I don't know if it comes across on the film how much work it was to get one noise, because it was all like analog. But yeah, but that's why I thought it was like really awesome, because like when I heard the score, your score, the first thing that came to mind was, and I don't know if you want to, hopefully you don't take this bad, but it sounded beautifully alien.
Oh, that's perfect.
It sounded like an underwater society of aliens on another planet.
Yeah, and I that's great, because I wanted it to come out kind of strange, because like, especially with what we did with the lighting and stuff, I wanted it to be different, and I wanted it to kind of feel again like inspiration from Anne's emotions, and like Anne isn't like everybody else,
Yeah.
Like Anne is awkward and she's different, and so I didn't want the score to just feel like any other score.
So for like in the beginning intro, because I know it kicks in with the bump,
Yeah, that like
bump.
badass.
Yeah. Because you also do like, you still do saxophone stuff and brass work too, right?
I do. Yeah.
And was that in, because that is that what that sound is? Is that
So that's not my saxophone.
it's not, or is that like a saxophone? I don't know, like.
So that was a trumpet pitched down.
See, that sounded like so awesome to me. That's why it like brought it to like another world, like it made me feel like, oh, I almost feel like I can take this score and like insert it into like a film noir that's happening like on another planet,
That's so cool.
So, I thought you did a pretty amazing job. You should get more credit in this film than I should. So,
Oh no,
like I feel like you're like 60% of this project. So
no,
it's
not at
awesome.
all.
So what'd you think? So what'd you think after all these times? You have yet to see it on the big screen yet, though, right? Yeah, you guys. I mean, I don't know when that's gonna happen, but like, it's actually super when the saxophone sound kicks in the beginning. Oh man,
I bet it's awesome.
it's freaking
I
awesome.
bet it hits you.
It hits
That
you.
initial hit.
It hits you hard. Like when I'm like the last festival, I was like looking at it. I was like, okay, this is gonna hit hard when it comes in, especially when you're surrounded by it too.
Yeah.
Bend it and
yeah, I'd love to hear it.
yeah. All right, so we have another. We're watching your music video next. We're watching to. So do you want to do an intro for this whole process? And I'm just gonna ask you questions about it like usual.
Sure. Yeah. So my friend Java, he hit me up, and we went to high school together. And he's a really creative musical person, and he put out a record recently and needed a video done, and so he hit me up, and I was like, yeah, dude, totally, I'll do your video. And we collaborated on the idea, and it came out really well. I'm really happy with the product. It's got a lot of shots in it in a really short period of time. Like when you hit me up for the thing, I was like, oh yeah, I think the video is like 4 minutes long, and it's not. It's barely 3 minutes long, but I just feel like it's longer because of the amount of shots that are in the video. And so the concept is basically Java falls asleep watching TV, and he kind of goes into this dreamland of being in the TV, and the channels keep getting changed. And so that's the whole video. He's just getting the channels changed on him. He's getting put in these different scenarios. That's him right there.
Let's check it out. Let's watch it, and then we'll play it again, and we'll do Q&A, and then let's let it happen.
All right.
Hey, it's my cheesy love song. Hey, y'all. Staring at my phone, I always hope you'd hit my line again. Don't mind me, I'm just mad, get no attention from my other friends. Depend on that Nemo, see that's nothing by myself. Always see though how it be though, I'm just swimming for my health. I just wanna be a hero, get our label on my back. I'm just holding up the world, know that I'm ready to attack. If I seem so out of hand, understand I got it covered. So unique, even my physique, look I promise there's no other. You my hater, that's my ride or die. Always speaking facts, I promise never hear no lies. If I gotta do it, my knuckles will just make the wave and leave them leaking, kissing on the pavement for days. And close my eyes now, I always drift far away. So here I go, if I don't fall, my eyes will see a brighter day. I will never know. Red light, cruising to Frank Ocean at the dead of night. Hand behind my head, gripping on your leg. I love to hold you tight. Your tongue is always on my name, yo. If I got the chance, I love to come and fill your brain up. Shit is dangerous. You were just the type I need. Lust for kitty, give me time. I always will succeed. I will never leave. Stubborn, I know how you be. Always dairy. When I see you, I can't help but cheese. Picture perfect moment. Pose, 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 pose. Wait, you know that you divine. Explosive feelings, how I'm feeling, I will make you mine. Look, don't even try to push me out the other way. I'm just set for all the rest and what they gotta say. We can weave out in Little Tokyo, and don't you know? Binge watch all our favorite shows. Spend the night, it's getting late. Wake up in the morning, fix a plate and have a breakfast date. Shower me with kisses, fill my wishes, be my missus. Cross you off my simple wish list. I just love it and I want no other. Got me feeling stuck. Feelings heavy, it's no longer just a little crush. Hey, I'm in love with the way you talk and how you move. And I will prove I am not another lustful dude. I just like to keep it cool, cruising with the windows down. Sun gets bright when you come around. How I'm looking now, the smile on my face is so real. Me and you together, look, we got it sealed. I wish this dream was real. Close my eyes now, I always drift far away. So here I go, if I don't fall, my eyes will see a brighter day. I will never know.
Channel 2 now concludes its broadcast. Good night.
Awesome.
Thank
That's a
you.
lot. That's a lot to unpack right there.
It's a lot. It's a lot going on.
So let's break it down. Like how many? So I mean, since there was a lot, there's so many shots. How many days did it take for you to film that?
It took us 2 days.
2 days. You did a lot in those 2 days.
Yeah. I worked very fast.
So going into how the process starts. So did they come to you? They said we need like a music video, or did you hear the song and you're like, I have an idea for this?
Yeah, so he came to me. Yeah, he just came to me and was like, "Hey, I love your videos. I'd love for you to do one of my videos." And we met up at a Starbucks and just went through like on a just a notepad. And he actually we had a little bit of a different idea at first, but it ended up not really working out. But the main idea was like flipping through the channels. So I'm glad it kind of worked out that way because it would have taken more time to do the other idea mixed with the flipping of the channels. So I think it ended up being a good thing that it worked out that way.
So how do you think about that process? Because that is a unique situation. Because we were talking about before at the beginning when you're, I guess for a certain time you're used to making your own music videos, right? You're putting yourself in there, but now you coming as a creative, bringing your own creative to someone else. How that? I mean, how was that process? Was it jarring at first, or you're like, cool, this is how it works? It's a good back and forth.
It's so much better. I love it so much better. I've done a few music videos for other people, but not a lot. And like, I love it so much more because I actually get to see the viewfinder. Like, I get to actually see what's going on, and yeah, it's just so much easier. And the editing comes really easy for me because I am a musician, and so I just feel like not to say that I think I am a good editor, but I just think musicians in general have a really good taste for editing because they work with rhythm a lot.
Yeah.
And so like editing just comes easier, I think.
I completely believe that too, because like you're just, I mean, what is editing? But you're still controlling time, and music
Exactly.
is still controlling
Yeah,
time.
all the way down to the millisecond. And
Yeah.
and that you do the same thing in music when you're editing your own music. So I don't know, I just feel like that experience comes a lot easier for me. And so yeah, so that part is simple, but the filming is so much better. It's so much easier, and I really just love bringing my own creative side to somebody else's music. It's really cool. I think also Java and I, our worlds like collide really well, like our creative minds. I think we're both really strange in our own way and like goofy, and so I think that worked out really well.
I think that's good to have that sort of already that creative juice, like chemistry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I think, see, a lot of times when you're working with, say, like new people you haven't worked with before, you have that sort of ice breaking moment. It's almost like you've already had to have had a project you've worked together to get into the groove. But if you've already worked with or know these people, you're like, cool, I can just talk to you like how I always talk to you,
Yeah,
without like pussyfooting around like
totally. It was so neat actually because I hadn't seen him in so long, and like yeah, it's so much better than like having kind of like an icebreaker moment. It was more like a reunion in a way. It was like, oh my gosh, dude, I haven't seen you in so long. Let's make a video.
I love that's really like in our world, that's what it is. It's like, oh man, I haven't seen you. Hey, let's do something. Let's do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's make
And I think actually in quarantine world right now, I think that's the way that a lot of emotions are going to be coming out of that when this is all over. And I think that the stuff that's going to be created after this is going to have so much more passion in it because people are just going to be like so eager to see each other again.
Also, I think possibly the reverse is going to happen too. It's like people who weren't really super passionate about doing something, like it would just like goes to the wayside now. You know what I mean? They really realize what they really want to do.
Yeah.
Because then, like while we're not, I mean, no, we're not technically trapped, but they are sort of trapped. I don't know, you're always going to do what you really want to do somehow. and I'm interested to see how that works too. I personally am at the state of just sort of like not creative frustration, but there's a what is it? There's a what is it when like you already got the ball rolling, the you know what I'm saying? Like the momentum. There's already a momentum happening. And then when
Yeah.
this hit, I was like, it stopped the momentum. I'm like, oh, now I gotta I gotta get a running start again.
I'm in the same spot.
Yeah. I'm like, how long is it gonna take? So let's watch it over and we can do our stop and go method, and then I can ask you
Okay.
questions and stuff like that because I like doing that. Here we go. All right.
I love this shot.
Did you shoot this out of order, or how did you plan your shots on
Yeah.
this film?
I shot this all out of order. This was the last shoot day. And at the beginning of the shoot day, of the last shoot day, I set this up in our living room, and I had him lay down, and then I put all the popcorn and stuff on him. And then I told him that he needed Cheeto fingers. And he ended up not really seeing the Cheeto fingers, but it just makes me happy to know that he has Cheeto fingers.
Where? What Cheeto fingers? On the
Like, I made sure he had like Cheeto dust all over.
oh, like the yeah. Well, sometimes that's the thing is like, you know, it's like you gotta like really just dip the whole hand in to sell it on the camera. You know what I mean? I mean, that's crazy. He's eating Cheetos and popcorn like at the
Cheetos
same.
and popcorn. Yeah. And these light movements
Yeah.
are me just like a total lunatic, just like controlling all the lights.
Where'd you get this TV too? This is a pretty vintage TV at the same time.
Okay, so this TV has been in every single one of my own productions.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So like everything that I've done, like anything that needs like a TV, like this is the TV.
That's like I don't know if you're a fan of the director or Sam Raimi. He did like Evil Dead and I don't know. but he always has like his car, like no matter what, his car is
That's so cool.
in every one of the movies, whether it's like a what's it called? Like a no matter what period piece, if it was like he just did like the Great and Powerful Oz, which of course doesn't take place in real time, but somehow he got his car in it. I was like, how did he do that? So yeah, that's a cool thing. I like when people have like motifs like that.
Staring at my phone, I always hope you'd hit my line again.
This next scene's pretty dangerous.
No attention from
this part?
Depend on
Yeah, it's not the safest.
There's not really any safety involved there.
Yeah, I didn't really have him sign any like insurance papers or anything. I probably should have.
That's
that
okay.
Nemo, see, that's
How are we gonna reinforce that?
Always see though how it be though. I'm just swimming for my health.
We drew that mustache on him.
Oh, that's not a real. That's a fake mustache.
I was like, I told him to draw it with pen because I was like, you know, I don't know how safe it is to like draw on a mustache, and he just like grabbed a Sharpie and just like drew it on, and I was like, dude, it's Sharpie, like I don't think you should be doing that, and he was like, it'll be fine.
For some reason, I don't know why. I just believed that was real when I first saw it.
It looks really real. It looks really real at first glance. He did a great job.
Wait, so
I think I see a future for him in like
I see a mustache in his future
in film.
Wait, so tell me, why does he have a mustache?
So this channel is supposed to be. I had it in the edit. I took it out because I thought it was distracting, but I thought it was overload. But in one of the edits, I had created like by hand these like, you know, like at the bottom of the channel, like if it says like Fox News, it has like the Fox News and like the rotating like thing.
Yeah.
So like I created like these little channel things, and like this was supposed to be some sort of safety thing, like, you know, when you like fall asleep and there's like the instructional videos.
Yeah.
So
like those infomercials at the end.
Yeah, so that's what this was supposed to be, and we just thought that like this was the look for the guy.
He'd be like a little the mustache sleazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I just wanna be a hero, get our label on my back. I'm just holding up.
So are these all your props? Like, are you a big fan of props? Because I love props, but like
I
this
have so many props.
that's like a crucial. All these props are so crucial. Look at that camera.
Yeah,
Camera.
I got that at a thrift store.
So out of hand, understand I got it covered. So unique, even my physique. Look, I promise there's no other. You my hater, that's my right to die. Always speaking fast, I
Like this
promise never
workout.
hear no lies. If I got it,
This is like a yoga.
I'm leaking, kissing on the pavement. The days ain't.
I love VHS.
But also, I do love the fact that you mix the formats too. You want the 4x3, 16x9.
Thank you. I had to stay true to that TV he was watching.
Oh, absolutely. This is actually, I'm a big fan of this location. Are you okay saying where this location is?
Yes. So this is in Culpeper, Virginia. Behind Culpeper.
Behind Culpeper? What? Behind what?
Culpeper Airport.
Oh man, so that's gonna be a lot of open land.
Yeah.
But hold tight, your tongue is always on my name, yo. If I got the chance, I love to come and fill your brain up. Shit is dangerous.
Wait a minute. Let me just try. I didn't catch this on the first time I saw it. So, what does this do? What
This
does
is
this
what I
do?
mean by we're all like very goofy.
Come and fill your brain up. Shit is dangerous. You were just the type I need. Lust for kitty, give me time, I always will succeed. I will never leave. Stubborn, I know how you be. Always dairy when I see you.
We got a whole ass
Picture perfect moment.
You got a whole ass lake? Is that what you said?
canoe. That's a whole
Whole ass-
canoe right there.
Pose. Wait, you know that you divine. Explosive feelings, how I'm feeling, I will make you mine. Look, don't
Love
This
the
is
grill.
MTV, if you can guess.
wait. I'm set for all the rest and what they gotta say.
Wait, let me rewind that. Wait, so what's happening here?
So Java called his outfit
I'm just set
aluminum.
what they
I
gotta
can't say the
say.
word very well. Aluminum
Tokyo.
drip.
Aluminum drip.
Wait, don't you know? Binge watch all our favorite shows. Spend the night, it's getting late. Wake up in the morning, fix a plate and have a breakfast date. Shower me with kisses, fill my wishes, be my missus. Cross you off my simple wish list. I
What
just
is
fuck
that?
it and I'll
What did he put in there?
It's codeine.
find no other. Got me feeling stuck. Feelings heavy, it's no longer just a little crush. Hey, I'm in love with the way you talk and how you move. And I will prove I am.
See, that's what's crazy is he shot all this in 2 days.
I just like to keep it cool.
Did you have did you have a pretty good crew like for yourself, or how did you slim it
just
down
me.
to make it workable?
It's just me.
So then you were able to work pretty fast because then you don't have an army behind you.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I pretty much everything I do is mostly just me. Sometimes I have a few friends help out. Like my friend Samantha helps out sometimes with some of the things I do. But like the documentary I did that whole entire thing by myself. And then the last 2 days, the last 2 trips that I went up, my friend Samantha, thank God, helped me out and like brought her camera so I could have like a couple more angles.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I usually just do things by myself. I don't know. It's like, it's not like I don't really know how to explain it. Like having the control. I don't want to say control because.
So Richard Smith said, "You're a human dolly." I guess he meant you're a human dolly.
Thank you, Richard.
You're a human dolly, piano.
Having the control, like to just like have everything and like, okay, we're doing this, we're doing that, like really fast is really helpful for me. But also having the help is really helpful as well. But also having the help, you know, you should always be able to like pay, you know, and I don't know, the budget isn't always there, you know, and so for the most part, I usually just do things on my own.
Well, you know, there's always different ways of paying as well.
Totally. Yeah.
Sometimes that's how we all get our work done too. It's like, hey, you made mine, I'm gonna go over and make yours. You know, that's just that sounds really weird now, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's how I do a lot of things, like a lot of things that I do. It's like, okay, well, you help me with this, so I'm going to help you with that.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's how I do most of my things. But
there's something to say about when you know that you can get it done with just your own manpower. That's actually a really great skill to have. If you know you can get it done, you might as well do it, because if you know you're going to be if you know you're going to work that fast, why add another person? Because here's the one thing I realized whenever I worked on any one of these projects, you know, it slows me down if someone doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, no, yeah. And it's like, I'm very lucky that I know a few people that, like, I have a few people that, like my friend Samantha, like, she's on top of it. Like, and it's like, you know, we know some people that it's like, if you call them, they're going to be like your second brain. Like, they know everything. Like, they know exactly what you mean when you're like, hey, I need you to move this. You know what I mean? And like, I'm the same for her kind of thing. But yeah, there's also like some people where it's like, it's so like not worth, you know, explaining like on the shoot, you know, but
it's almost
I feel
like
people look at me weird. It's so hard to explain to people, like, when you show up on the set, like the day of shooting, and it's just you, and it's like, they're just like, so it's just you, and it's like, yeah, it's just me. You know, like, but the product's like, they're really happy with the product in the end, but like that initial thing, it's like, it's just me, you just have to trust me.
Yeah, it's like, apparently you don't realize I am 5 people.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm everybody in one.
Yeah. Get back.
Cruising with the windows down. Sun gets bright when you come around. Now I'm looking out, a smile on my face is so real.
What's crazy is that, like, pretty much each one of these channels is another movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So here I go. If I don't fall, my eyes will see a brighter day.
So I was wondering about this.
Fun.
How did you power that? You're out there in the middle of nowhere. How did you get that TV?
It works on batteries, actually.
Oh, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Channel 2 now concludes its broadcast.
That's always a unique experience when you fell asleep in half bite, like in mid bite of a cheetah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Stop sleeping with my wife.
So let's talk a little bit more about, like, our, you know, we never actually, you know, we have a little bit of time. Let's talk about filmmaking, Piano. So like, yeah, like even JB Torres Medina just talked about, like, totally agree, having to teach along the way really slows down productivity on set. And, you know, knowing that, you know, you've done a lot of stuff by yourself. I came from a documentary background. I was known as, like, the guy that's always documenting and filming stuff. It took me a while to, like, realize, like, hey, you know, you know, you have the option of having more people to make it easier. Are there ever moments where, or you ever think about in the future, like, I'm going to get my own crew? You know, have you been spotting people?
That's such a good question. Oh man.
Just saying, I want to be part of that group one day too. So.
Yeah, that's such a good question. I guess there's, like, different levels, right, of, like, filmmaking, and, like, it feels so weird talking about it because I feel like such a small gal in the filmmaking world, because there's so many levels of it. There's, like, the super small part of it, which is all, like, student films, right? And then there's, like, the, like, part where it starts to grow. It's like indie stuff, and then it gets a little higher, and then there's like, oh, it goes all the way up. Yeah. And, like, I feel like I'm kind of in this, like, stage of, like, the indie filmmaking, and I feel like I'm finally starting to get kind of good at it, and, like, I'm learning, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm starting to kind of get a hang of this, and I've finally graduated to the point where I'm getting more, well, before quarantine, I'm getting more places on sets, and the positions on those sets are lower than what I'm doing on my own. So it's like, for myself, for my own films, it's like I do everything. I consider myself, like, if you go to my website, it says I am a cinematographer and I'm a director. But then, like, when I go on these sets, it's like I'm a production assistant and I am a second AC, you know? And I'm really, really excited about that because I'm finally like starting to move up in this. And I really love doing that because I'm finally getting to learn about all these different parts of filmmaking, which I always knew existed because I've just done a lot of my own studying and stuff. But it's really cool to see all the different like roles in action. And I'm learning so much and I'm meeting so many people, and I can't wait to keep doing that after quarantine stops. But then I think about like my own crews, because when I see these crews and I'm on them, it's like, wow, like one day, if things go well, like I could do this on my own. Like if I really, really, really kept going at this.
I mean, technically you are doing it on your own.
Yeah, and that's why it's so confusing, because it's like when people ask me what I do, it's kind of like who's asking, right?
I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but I remember not when I first started, because I feel really old, but I don't feel old. I live on an island, but I remember someone saying like, so this is like your hobby, and like I have to tell them like, no, this is my job. It's like, but some people can't, like civilians can't really fathom that, like, you know, you actually can do this like as like your normal job. But also, this is what I realized too, and I don't know if you maybe you realized this as well when you're on other sets, that maybe you like a certain size set. Like I know for me personally, I don't really like too many, at least from the scale I'm at. I'm like, I just want a digestible size that we all know we can work at a certain pace.
Yeah.
I like knowing everyone on set.
Yeah, I this just sounds really strange, but I have like kind of had it in my head that like, okay, if I got to the point where I could have like my own set, I want to be able to know everyone's name on the set.
That's important, right?
Yeah, because like I have worked on some where it's like, dude, there's so many people here. I could never remember everybody's name. And like starting like where I am right now, like mostly doing production assistant work. And like, let me tell you, I'm going to be the best dang production assistant you've ever seen, you know, like I'm doing the best dang work I can. But it's like, if I get to the point where I get to have my own set and be my own like director and have all these people under my own like tent, like I want to be able to know who the production assistant's name is. You know what I mean? It's like that's really important to me. And I'm not saying that I don't want to work on like these bigger sets. I'm just saying that if I get to the point where I get to make my own film, I would like to have a smaller crew.
Yeah, I think it totally makes sense, because what are you going to call them if you don't know their name? Yeah. I like if I ever have like when I have bigger productions, I technically like to do like a what's it called? I don't like calling it like a morning powwow. It's sort of guised as a safety meeting, you know, but we all go like in a circle on the first day and we introduce who everyone is. Like, hey, hey, what's your name? Like, hi, I'm Michael. I'm the medic. And then you just go around in the circle. So then, you know, at least everyone can see, they can match like a face to, you know, it's a good sort of intro to see who everyone else is. But yeah, like, I always feel like I would make it. Me and my friend Brian, we've made films like for past like 15 years. Damn, 15 years. But he was like, I know. He's like, dude, we know we've made it when we can have sushi on set, and we can just have the sushi guy just follow us wherever we go.
Hell yeah.
That was the dream. And you know, I'm not there yet because sushi is freaking expensive. That's the first thing to go out of the budget.
That is so expensive.
It is so expensive. But I mean, I think that's cool. I feel like it's important to know what you can do with just yourself. And then for me, I had to, it took me a while to realize like, hey, I need to give someone else the camera because I want to do all these things, but like I need to talk to actors. I need to talk to these people, but I can't, I can't do it while I'm running around with the camera. So I just like it was hard for me to let go of the camera. I still can't let go of the camera, but there are certain points where when I know I have someone I can trust with the camera, it feels really good because
What's your favorite part? Like, do you enjoy camera op more than something, or do you enjoy directing more than something?
so are you a fan of Christopher Nolan? He does like, like Interstellar and stuff like that. Well, I'm just about to quote him. He says, he basically said like, a director should be prepared to do any job on set. So, starting out, I did everything but makeup. I've only PA'd 3 times though. I only PA'd 3 times, but that was awesome. That's why I was like, okay, I'm done. I've graduated. When the producer's like, I think you're too good to be a PA. Where can I stick you? And then that's where I felt like I was doing good because they're like, all right, the next shoot you have an option because I know you can do this. I'll give you first dibs on what job. So from that, I've always been a camera person. I grew up as the guy with the camera, and I know that sounds really creepy, but in like high school, I was documenting stuff. I was always filming and making it. Just I don't know what it is. I have no choice. When you realize like, hey, like you sort of been chosen to be a camera person, but I've been happiest as a director because as a director, I'm still a camera person. I'm just telling them how to do it,
Right.
And that I find great pleasure in the fact of being able to communicate. And I don't know if you ever felt this way, but when you tell someone to do something and they do it, that makes me feel good.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I don't know if you like when you're working with like Samantha and you're like, Samantha, I need you to get this shot. And if she goes out there and gets the same exact shot that you envisioned or like something better,
Mhm.
doesn't that feel awesome? You're like, I can trust that person.
Yeah, like I communicated that thing the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I found that to be like a pretty amazing like challenge to be able to communicate. So like when I'm working with actors, I like that challenge of like, I wonder if I can take what's in my head and put it like in Piano's head and see if that works. And
Yeah.
I feel like I can only do that as a director because a camera person can't be like telling an actor what to do. It's not like stepping over bounds and stuff like that.
Totally.
But yeah. But what about you? Because when was the first time like have you always been like a camera person, or when was the first time you even started making films?
So my dad always had a lot of like cameras, camera stuff. Like he made a lot of movies like with me as a kid, and just like made like little skits and stuff. And so I would like, I guess I acted in those.
Yeah.
Um,
What if he was training you? You didn't know he was already training you.
I just never knew. But yeah, so yeah, we would do like stuff like that. And so I was always really intrigued with like the camera and like, wow, like you can like capture somebody and then you can look at it in the future and like look at the past. Like that's the coolest thing. And so I actually got really into stop motion animation.
Oh, cool.
So I would like take a lot of pictures and like I would make my own movies, and like I was crazy into stop motion animation for like years. And then I got really into recording sound, and it's actually something I never really considered like in film industry. Was like I actually do a lot of sound recording.
Do you do a lot? I feel like you could easily do that job.
I could. Yeah.
Like I kid you not, like that was my first professional gig. For 4 years I was a professional sound guy. I can still do it if I felt like it, but that was the job that no one wanted to do.
Yeah.
They're like, everyone's like, I'm gonna do camera, I'm gonna work as a grip electric, and no one wants to do sound. But it's so 50% of the movie.
Yeah, sometimes even more.
Or
and
yes.
Like I just have never really thought about, like the thought literally just popped into my head like right now. Like I could totally do sound. And I've just never really pursued it because I just really love cameras and I really like creating visuals, but Dude, I could totally do sound. Like, I don't know why I haven't pursued that, but
Like piano, you seriously, that could be your like legit bread and butter.
I know, like, I
This-
literally am an audio engineer.
But like, here's the thing that I learned too from, because we're both directors and storytellers. I really enjoyed sound because, one, if we're talking about small crews, you only really need like you can mix and you can have a boom op, or you can have a sound PA, or beyond that, unless you have more boom operators, that's just you. That's your team.
Yeah.
And you have your own setup and doing all that. So you live on your own
Yeah.
island. And I always envisioned it like I'm spying on people.
Yeah, just like
Yeah, because also this, like, say if you're doing wireless mics, so you're wiring everyone and you're just like,
Yeah.
I'm just listening to you. You're
I
just
have
gonna talk.
listened to so many things making my own film. Sorry, I totally got off topic, but like I have heard so much dirt.
See, that's
Like
what's so fun
lobbing
about.
people up and then later going into editing and then like just like scrubbing through stuff trying to find like the right thing, and then like you just like hear somebody like talking drama and then you're like, whoa, I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear that. And then I've heard people like pee.
They're supposed to turn that off. That's it. So I have a story. So one feature film I was doing sound on, I think in like 2012. So everyone, I mean, for some reason, people don't like turn off their mic packs, and I still had, we're still listening, and literally it was a kids movie, and the main kid actor was getting reprimanded by his mom for not getting his lines right. Like she took him off to like the side, and then we can hear them being like, "Mama, I didn't know how it was. I was like, you gotta get these lines right. Like I thought you wanted to act." And then like I just like had to like I was like, dude, our director, can't, like, you gotta listen to this. And we're all like, oh man, this kid's getting, he's like only 10.
Oh, poor kid. Yeah, see, that's why I'm not doing acting. That's why I didn't do that stuff.
Well, that's like, that was his mom, so I think you're past that. I don't think you had
Yeah,
like.
no, I am past that. My parents are gonna be like.
No, but I feel like a sound position is also pretty awesome because you do get because since you're not a PA, you're a key, so you're supposed to be in ground zero, and
Yeah.
you have say over a lot. You can shut the shit down if you want to, but you also get to observe everything. You get to see the director, you get to talk to him, you get to see how everything is going, and they also have to communicate with you because they got to know if it sounds good or not.
Yeah, no, I don't know why I've never pursued that, because like I've done that my whole life.
Yeah.
I am an audio engineer. I mean, I have a job where I do that. Like I don't know, I never pursued that. But anyway, I got into cameras.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're talking about cameras.
I just realized an entire career path that I've completely ignored. But yeah, I got into cameras doing music videos for myself, and that's how I like really started getting into them. And then I started taking it really seriously about like 3.5 years ago. And that's like when I was like, okay, well, this is something I really want to do. And so I just invested a lot of time into it. And I'm just really lucky that my parents are really supportive of me. And so they just like help me, and they've helped me buy some gear. And so I've just like spent a lot of time just figuring out how to work that gear. And I spend countless hours reading and watching videos and just trying to figure out like how to make stuff better. And yeah, so that's just what I've been doing for the past like 3.5 years, is just learning more about cine gear. Not like the event, but like cine gear.
Well, it's cool that you mentioned that because like just recently, Roger Deakins, I don't know if you know, he's one of my favorite cinematographers. He just came out with a podcast, and since he's always been told, since he's Oscar award winning, he's one of my biggest inspirations as a cinematographer. Thus, that's how I'm lit right now. But definitely check that out because he talks about his life, and he mentioned just like what you said, like the best way to learn is you gotta learn on your own. The best way to learn is on your own, because he realized that like you only learn so much when people are telling you what to do, but you really have to like fail on your own. That's the only way to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. You really have to go hands-on. And like I tried, like I don't know if you ever tried film school or not.
Have Have I tried film school?
Yeah.
Oh, I went to film school.
You went to film school.
So, so this is baked into my history, like that I've always said so far. And I feel real bad whenever I tell this story from any press I talk about. But so I started out at community college doing photography, and
Okay.
then I went to college for film school, and I realized that the community college had better stuff than the actual university.
Oh, whoa.
So I was like, this is a ripoff, man. So, and I realized all we spent time in the university was just watching movies. The reason why I went there was to make movies. So what I ended up doing was I started my own film festival that was monthly. So everyone who wants to make movies, now they have a place to show it. So we have our own theater. It started underground. We started this movie festival. It's called Project Resolution. And we started it at underground, it's underground, but we started playing movies at laundromats. Like after it's closed, we would bring in chairs, and at the end of the laundromat we'd have a screen, and people would come in and they would watch the movies that we just started making.
That's so badass.
And we did that every month for 5 years until we started getting sponsorship and we started getting like national recognition. And then afterwards, I'm like, I'm just tired. I can't make anymore, dude. It's like making a film for one a month for 5 years straight. It gets sort of tiring.
Oh, I bet.
But that was my response to that was my response from not learning enough in film school. I was like, I can't learn from this. I'm going to do it on my own and learn the hard way. And it's unique because we sort of built the like, this is in Richmond, Virginia. So we actually we helped build the indie community there. Like there was no like real like indie filmmaking community until we started that, because that became the place to show movies.
That's great, because like I feel like that's super important.
Yeah, and this is I mean, I'm dating myself again, but this is directly the year we stopped doing this. The year I stopped doing this was the year YouTube took off.
Wow.
So it makes sense that like once that stopped, because no one else had a place to show movies. Like you can go and show your films, but what made us unique was you have 5 minutes or whatever, 5 to 10 minutes afterwards in which you get a Q&A and a critique from the audience. So if you know what's working or what's not working. So we needed that. That was better than film school.
Totally. I had not that experience, but similarly, like I went to community college. I didn't make it out of community college, but I went to community college
good enough
for film. And then my plan was like to transfer to a bigger school for film and university. And I enjoyed my time there, but the resources weren't the greatest. And I found that a lot of the time ended up like in some ways like teaching over people.
Yeah, dude, that's what happened. Like
it was really strange. And like it was like, why am I as a student coming here to like learn? And I'm not blaming the college that I went to. I'm just saying that like this is a problem like across a lot of film schools in general that I've like noticed, because like I've talked to so many people that even like went to universities, and like they have the same experiences. Like they come in and like they end up teaching over people about like what they know, and it's like I don't even know that much to begin with. Like I know a good bit, but I came there to learn more, you know? And so it was like, well, if I'm doing better than I should be, I'm not going to do this, and like I'm just going to pursue this on my own.
You want to know another layer of that too? Is that like okay, so we go to these film schools, right? You know, and I probably someone's going to watch this and think I'm slamming on the whole university format, and I am. But I would look at the structure, right, of when I'd want to go to a college for film. I'd be like, okay, the first 2 years is theory. You work on someone else's in your sophomore, your junior year, and then in your senior year, you get to actually make a movie. I was like, this is fucking bullshit, dude. It's like, I came here to freaking pick up a camera the first day, and I had a big problem with that. And I don't know. Also, what another unique thing is, a lot of times you're being taught by people who, yeah, they're filmmakers, but they're not actually teaching you, or they don't have the experience of like, say, being on a real set.
That was a huge problem.
And that to me, it like destroys like the credibility of like, okay, so why am I listening to you if you haven't done this? And I can bring some reality into it. Not everyone works on real sets. You know what I mean? Not everyone gets that chance. So we're always very lucky when we get that opportunity. But it's weird to have those people who haven't made it to that level. Then they're like, okay, well, I'm just going to go teach. I'm like, dude, come on. You're just taking my money now.
I think the big problem also was like, I don't know. I mean, not to like go on a rant, but I won't go on a rant. But an example is like, a lot of the times, like, it just like one example would be like, okay, well, there's this thing called frame rate. And then they just move on, right? And it's like, okay, well, I know what that is, right? But there's a lot of people here that came into the no experience, and they really are interested in film, and like they want to create, they're really excited, but they don't know what frame rate is.
Yeah.
So you can't just like say, okay, so like camera, okay, frame rate. And then like they just like go on, right? And it's like, okay, well, what is frame rate? Like, you have to break this down for these people. And it's like, yeah, okay, it might bore me for a second, but like, I really care about everybody else in the class. Like, there were so many people in the class that like, and it's not just like one class that I'm talking about. I'm talking about like my whole, like, it was like almost 3 years because I took a while, but like in other academic courses, but like, almost 3 years of community college, like, of people just like coming to me and being like, Piano, like, do you mind explaining this to me? And it's like, I just felt really bad. And like, I just talked to a lot of other people that went to universities, and they all had the same experience. And so,
you know what's amazing, Piano, is that you bring up frame rate, and not one moment in the beginning of my college career did they even talk about frame rate.
It's never right. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so basic, get over it.
But here, well, okay, I will. Okay, I'm gonna date myself again. Okay, so when I went to college, Piano, there was no HD, so that might we didn't even, video cameras weren't made to shoot 24 frames per second yet. So that shows how long ago I was actually I was there. I've been through that whole entire transition. We were shooting on film, which I guess it's always going to be 24 frames.
I'm really jealous of that. That's really cool.
It is. It's unique to be like in that transitional age.
Yeah, that is super cool.
But we didn't know that was going to happen. But what we ended up doing, so here was the secret. We ended up just taking the film gear for the whole semester and just making our own movies forever. Because like literally we would sit in class and it was just all theory classes, and we're like, we just want to freaking make, this is actually how I met Brian, one of my best friends who's my gaffer. You met him on the music video. So the second day of this film class, experimental filmmaking, we turned to each other at the end of class and we're like, this is fucking bullshit, dude. Are we gonna like shoot anything? And he's like, I don't know. I hope so. I turned to him and I was like, I have a camera. You want to make a movie today? And he's like, yeah. And we made a movie with just us. It was an action sequence that involved a car chase and being thrown off of a roof.
Hell yeah. I feel like that's like all your anger.
Yeah.
And you're like, let's just fucking make a car chase. And like,
yeah. So it really is one of those things where a movie making is, you have to be self-motivated, I guess. You got to like wake up and want to do it.
Yeah, totally.
So I guess we're going to wrap up the Facebook Live.
Yeah, so, I guess so.
Thank you everyone for tuning in to this watch along and commentary ASTRAY Live with me and Piano.
Yes, thanks for having me, Joe. I really appreciate this. This is super cool.
Did you have a good time?
It's awesome and really really important, and it's awesome. Thanks for having me.
So, random question, just so the people who want to know who's still tuning into it. When you get out of quarantine, is your hair going to be blue?
Yes, I am going to hopefully have it be blue.
Oh,
But only if I have like a stylist that I've been seeing. Her name's Sam. I've been seeing her like since I was like a freshman in high school, and I am 22 now, so I only go to her. And if she's not comfortable with like going to the salon, because I don't know like where she's at right now, so if her salon's not open, I'm not going to do it. But if it's open and she's like actively working like on hair, then yes, when like the salon opens back up and everything, then I'm going to.
I know that was such a dire question for me to ask.
No, it's really like it's like almost, it looks green right now, but it is really like straw colored. But it's okay. Like, look at these roots. I am just, it's a look. My hair is always changing, and every time I change it, my whole like face shape changes. I cut my bangs myself. So.
Oh, that's the challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let me make sure people can find your. Well, bring up your page, your Vimeo.
What's my Venmo if you guys want to pay my rent?
Yeah. But definitely go check out more Piano's work. But also you can find One from Mars on Amazon Prime. I would recommend you do that. Right?
Yeah, you can find it on Amazon Prime, or you can watch it on Vimeo. You can give it a like on Vimeo. That's always really helpful. You can follow me on Vimeo.
Should we play the trailer?
Sure.
Let's play the trailer. Since we're here already on the page.
Since we're here.
Since we're watching stuff, let's do it. Let's see if I got.
I think all of my films have left me a changed person. I actually made this one movie called Wakers that traumatized me a little bit because it sort of was a parallel of what was actually going on in my life.
We're gonna shoot no matter what. The show must go on. If they don't show up, I'll just shoot something else without them. That's what I've been doing. That's what I will do. That's what I almost always do. I don't cancel. I do something else, or I'll rewrite, or I'll rework. We don't even have a script today, so fucking anything goes.
To a degree, all my films are some sort of amalgamation of my fears and my dreams and my desires and my thoughts on the world, as I feel any film should be. I feel that most good films, you see a bit of yourself in if you connect with it.
Woman from Mars. Out now.
Awesome. Piano. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to leave you Facebook. I had a great time. This was an awesome episode, Piano.
It was awesome. We covered so much stuff.
Yeah. For like two pieces that are not even like 10 minutes long.
I know.
2 pieces that are not even 10 minutes long. We went for an hour and 46 minutes. I think that's pretty.
We went for 2 hours, and we ended with a rant about film school.
Exactly. So there you go. So everyone out there, this has been ASTRAY Live. We make movies. Stay safe, stay sane, and be excellent to each other. And signing off.